Yes, I am drawing Bastion, which is the last character of the Overwatch series.
That there's not enough R34 with Bastion.
Exactly. We need way more, especially now that a lot of people are speculating that Bastion might be a girl robot.
Well, we already have the Nigabot, that's a girl.
Exactly. So now we need a straight white female robot.
Well, Artrix,
because it's current year.
You now have to draw a sex scene of Bastion with Farah, except it's not Farah, it's just a suit.
So is race diversity important?
Oh, by the way, Artrix,
Huh?
you've seen the video I sent you?
The one by I Hate Everything?
Emoji movie.
Yes. He really liked it. He was like, this is a masterpiece, and I left the cinema crying. It was that beautiful.
And have you seen the final, well, not final, but have you seen the stuff that actually was said by the people working on the movie?
Well, yeah, they want to make it a feminist statement. Also, just for good order,
Beep.
This is another highly retarded episode of Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the entire internet. And this is, this is probably going to be the last or the second to last episode before Artrix-Con 2017. So, yeah, there will be a small hiatus. But we might actually do another episode on next Friday.
We might.
Considering, my plans and whatnot, my master plan. Insert twirling mustache here. So yeah, drawing Bastion, and we were talking about Overwatch, so we'll resume doing that. So yeah, apparently Doomfist is a character that exists in Overwatch now. And yes, he does melee, but so does Genji and Reinhardt.
And everybody else, because they have a punching.
Oh yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, but Duke Nukem had the mighty boot, but he didn't use it. Because it's not useful.
Well, in Doomfist's case, it's like this. So yeah, his primary attack is ability based, the fist, obviously. Also, it is funny that whenever you perform melee attack, which is like what 90% of all characters can do, he uses a small fist instead of a large one. So here you are the mighty Doomfist. Fear me with my mighty fist, and I'm going to punch you in the face using my small fist. That does not have the prosthetic on it. It's just the one that shoots like a few little bullets. And
all right, so here's the problem that melee characters generally have in shooters. They need to get to the person who has a gun. How do they do this and not be dead?
Well, in case of Doomfist, he charges his primary attack, right? He's at a fair distance. He charges his attack, and then he basically becomes the bullets. He's like,
he becomes the fist.
He becomes the fist. He's like, I have waited my entire life for this. This is my moment. I will become a bullet. And then he charges at you, and then you headshot him, because the way that he tried to attack is really good, and he headshot him.
So,
but
he has like a boost ability that just makes him fly across the screen.
Yeah, like Reinhardt.
Yeah, once you lock down on something, you just fly forward in a straight line, and anyone who is in your line of sight is being punched, and if you hit a wall, then the enemies...
And that person gets fisted.
Yes.
Yeah, like Reinhardt.
Well, Reinhardt can survive it, sort of, but if you like Soldier 76...
No, I mean, he copied his attack.
Reinhardt can survive the fisting.
Yes, he can. He had experience, you see.
Are you suggesting this character's a clone of Reinhardt, only he doesn't have a shield? So, not a clone at all.
Well, no. The clone of Reinhardt is Orisa, because she's a clone of everyone. She's a clone of Reinhardt, she's a clone of
Zarya.
Zarya.
So in other words, she's a Russian African, sort of.
and then she's a clone of who Nana boosts?
Anna.
Mercy and Anna.
Oh, she's basically a pocket Mercy.
Everyone, yeah. She's basically everyone in one route. Damn it, Elfie.
But does everything quite mediocre.
That's true.
Like she is equality. That's why
she's the ultimate equalizer.
She's the ultimate tank buster, apparently.
How do you make a black robot?
By making her sassy.
And having a black voice actress, maybe? A British voice actress.
Well, this well, okay.
I didn't think the robots talked. I thought they just wouldn't beat poop.
No, that's Bastion. Bastion is apparently retarded.
Okay.
So you should let him win every time.
Yeah. It is Overwatch after all. He's special. He's it would be ableist if we wouldn't let the mentally impaired Omnic lose all the time, you know. But yeah, it is, when you think about it, this kind of fucked up. So because okay, here you got Zenyatta, and he's all wise and shit, and he's an Omnic, and he can talk, and he's obviously male. And then you have Orisa, who is basically a big black woman who ain't need no man. And then
that's why she has 4 legs.
Okay, it sounds like you're enforcing racial stereotypes here.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Bastion, who's just computer. He beeps and boops and doesn't talk human. And doesn't look human like... Okay, Reza doesn't really look human either. The closest thing to human is like Zenyatta.
Although, isn't he implied to be like a pre-war broken down old robot that was
Yes.
Like
maybe
literally just an attack drone.
Yep, yes. So that's probably why he's so primitive.
Well, it makes out that he is retarded because he's just gone beyond his programming.
Sekele, stop coming in and out of the chat. Try to fix your problems without doing that.
So we have Bastion, who's retarded, and we have the Indian person who's also retarded but less. So, where are we getting a champion with 8?
You never, because they're dead.
Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not 8.
That's what causes the time thing.
Maybe it's not 8, but the closest thing is probably May.
Hopefully, in the future, when this video game is based, they'll probably have cured the AIDS.
No, Artrix May is Ebola.
Okay. Any specific reason why he's Ebola, not AIDS? Or is he Ebola AIDS? Because I'm cool with that.
But is she super AIDS though?
Hyperbole AIDS.
The hyperbole? Oh no.
Hyperbole.
That's a great level in Carmageddon. You just go into the hyperbole, you run everyone over. It's a lot of fun.
And then you win the prize.
Well, no, you still have to win the race.
Oh.
But you do get to run over all the teams, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, no one. I remember playing the game. It was fun, and you know, I didn't know a single person on the planet who played Carmageddon and tried winning by beating the time limit.
Wait,
everyone just just smashed everyone.
Are you suggesting that was even an option?
Yes, you could actually. I think could actually beat the game just by completing the time trial.
Stop saying such blasphemic words, Artrix.
I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. Come on, you're better than that.
I will run the messenger over with my car with spikes on the front of it, and I will get 60 points for it.
But I counter with just being May. I'll just be May, and I'll just turn into an ice block that is impervious to everything.
I'll just wait it out.
That is true. That's usually how I get.
No. You just put Junkrat into the scenario. He's like, "G'day," and he just throws his trap right next to the ice block. And as soon as it does, she does on ice herself, whatever she does. She gets
Tall.
trapped. So
Yes, but then she just sprays him with ice for half a second and he's dead.
That's usually how it goes with May.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He's supposed to be her counter, though.
Yes, because you can spam your whatever they are, like little balls.
Everybody's
balls.
May counter.
Throwing his balls into her face.
But he's not even a black Scottish man with no eyes.
Here's true.
I'm pretty sure that's what that character's supposed to be from the game I played anyway. Black and Scottish. I don't understand what happened. How he lost his leg and became white.
Maybe it was some form of cultural appropriation or whatever.
Maybe he caught that disease Michael Jackson had.
Yeah, or better yet, so Michael Jackson is frozen, and it's like 2060, and they found a cure for whatever Michael Jackson had. So they thaw him, and they revive him, and they cured his disease, and he also made him Junkrat, and that's the history of Junkrat. That's nothing to do with Australia.
To moonwalk with only one leg.
Well,
He's got a wheel on it.
Yep.
He's got little rollers hidden in his prosthetic so he can do the moonwalk perfectly.
It's like how they Heelys have little whole wheels in them.
Exactly. The moon Healy.
Oh.
And that's how the Omnic War was won.
By transracialism.
Yes.
Oh god, we're gonna get banned from YouTube.
Again? How many times have we been banned from YouTube by now? I don't even remember. Probably like 6 times. Well, some of our videos are demonetized. At least they take notice, or, well, at least it's like an algorithm and scans for inappropriate words like terrorism and...
There it goes.
Yep.
You done it.
Well, in the video description. No, in the video description. It's not that advanced just yet. It doesn't actually scan the entire video.
It does, though. The automatic captioning system is used for that. And, yeah, it is. And also, if people actually manually caption your video, it will filter that too. Yes. But unfortunately for Google, their automatic captions are still pretty poor.
Exactly. So I don't think we have much to worry about Google. Also, it's not like there's trillions of dollars of ad revenue on the line here.
Not for us.
Nope.
Maybe for PewDiePie.
And he's doing fine too.
Although I have heard that the advertisers are starting to come back to YouTube after they realized, we pay for these ads for a reason. It's to advertise. We're not putting our ads on any videos.
So let me get it straight. So first the advertisers are like, oh my god, our video is right next to Nossi video, and obviously that means we endorse it because everyone on the internet assumes that everything on the internet and every ad, like the CEO personally endorses everything that's being advertised ever, or at least the subject.
Obviously.
If there's an ad for, I don't know, frozen canned corn, you wanna advertise frozen canned corn, and you put an ad next to a Nossi video. It's obviously everyone understands that you endorsed the Nossi video. That's so obvious. Like, obviously the CEO went down to the Nossi video personally and said, "Put my ad here." And Google's like, "Yes, sir. Let's do it." No. Most people have no common sense whatsoever, and no one realizes, oh, these ads, it's just all automatically generated, and we don't give a shit.
No, Artrix. It wouldn't say yes, sir. It would say, yeah, mindfuler.
Yeah, it's not like Google, the owners of YouTube, are some kind of ideologic hegemony that are totally resistant to any kind of dissenting opinion, to the point that they would just fire anyone in their company for suggesting.
This is true. I read such an article. It said that there are racists in the company, and how is it possible that the company supports such racists?
Mm? Yeah, so in other words, they extended this policy of, oh my god, what if an ad is right next to a video that might be objectionable, and now they extend it to, oh my god, what if we have employees that state facts?
It seems, you know,
But facts are oppressive!
I agree.
I don't know who you are, but get out of this call.
That was kind of obnoxious. But yeah, go ahead.
Don't do that again. Obviously, having opinions of your own that are supported by science and research and evidence is grounds for firing, regardless where you work. Like, if I was working for an oil company, and I told the oil company, did you know it's more likely that you'll find oil in places that at one point in prehistory had large amounts of flora and fauna, and then they fired me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because that's science, you see.
Well, obviously you're oil company phobic, and that's why they fired you. Because you're just one big mini oil company misogynist or whatever.
So for someone to go and suggest that maybe the more mechanically minded sex, which has been shown through a bunch of research and stuff, might actually be more, driven to go into mechanically minded jobs. I mean, that sounds absurd. I know, right?
How could you think such a thing?
Like, why would anyone who likes tinkering with machines want to have a career in tinkering with machines? Seems odd, right?
Well, here's my take on this whole, women and men in the STEM fields and whatnot. I legitimately believe that both men and women have all the opportunities to go into whatever field they want, and also have anecdotal evidence in the sense that I went to school, I was in a class once that had all the computers and whatnot, and the girls that were interested were free to join, and there wasn't rampant racism and sexism and whatnot. They were just your classmates, and they were doing exactly the same assignments as I did as a dude, and they were held to the same standards, and everything was fine and dandy. As a matter of fact, one of the girls was like, you know what, this isn't my thing. I'll become a hairdresser instead. And everyone's like, okay, go do that.
But that is oppressive. You have to give them advantages. You have to support them.
Well, here's the interesting thing, though. So, if this girl was like, you know what, I want to become a hairdresser instead. I thought about it. I think I'd be happier being a hairdresser, because that's kind of what she said. And then you come in and say, but oppression and whatnot. Who's being oppressed here?
Me.
Whoa.
Yeah, obviously. But so are you going to tell the girl that she is not allowed to pursue a career in hairstyling because quotas and...
If you are a woman, then of course it's for her own good, especially if you are a woman who had gender studies before.
But she didn't. She was probably one of the the least gender study persons that I can imagine.
But yeah, she was.
No, I'm talking about if you are a woman who did gender studies, then yes, you are allowed to tell her that no, she can't. She has to take STEM. Because progressive.
Yes. So,
Are you saying that people who do gender studies demand women go into STEM fields? And that is somehow a bad thing? You know, having your choice removed from you and being pushed into things you don't want to do?
Look. We are a super progressive podcast, right? We're so progressive that we got a woman on the show. So Astra, let's do a little role play here. Like,
Can we not?
Role play. So I'll be the school. You'll be the student, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, Astra, I received this here letter that said that you're currently in this computer media productions course, right? And here's the letter stating that you'd rather be a hairdresser. What do you have to say for yourself?
The course is cheaper. I'm in horrible, crippling debt.
Okay, the government will give you 6 billion euros, so there's no money to use it.
It's the truth, though. I am in crippling debt here.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
So, but you're not allowed to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You have to go into crippling debt even further, because we need our quotas. So we're actually going to force you to do this course now. You're not allowed to leave. I'm sorry, Astra.
Which course you're forcing me to do? The hairdressing or the IT?
The IT.
Yes.
You're currently doing IT. You have to keep doing it.
I have to keep doing it. Can I do both?
No.
Why?
Because the mini God, what was that department in mini pack was like, yeah, this woman is not allowed to do that because that's demeaning to woman. And since you're a woman, you have to do this course now.
Oh, okay then.
For equality, you see, we will make sure
because progressive.
Here's how it works, Astra. In order to be equal, we're going to force you to do something that a man would not have to do, because you see he's oppressing you. So the guys can quit the course if they want to, but you can't. Because equality, you see, we need to make sure that you are equal to your male peers.
I see.
And you are equal by not having a choice.
Exactly. My lovely assistant. Which, by the way, is a sexist slur. I'll flock myself when I get home, don't worry. But yeah, they pointed out exactly my thoughts. You know, also that's the thing. They, no gendered pronouns here.
Then how can you tell people apart?
By using numbers. Everyone gets a number now, and
by hair color.
So from now on, whenever you refer to someone, you refer to their number. So you're number 66.
Is that number representative of a gender?
No.
Oh.
You're
But
just
my
a number
gender
now.
is 66.
Well, then good luck. Your number represents your gender. Actually, that's precisely the thing. From now on, instead of using gendered pronouns, the pronouns are number. So your number is also your gender. Because there's gender for...
Sir.
Which number are you, sir?
Number that's not on the list of numbers.
Oh, okay. Sir.
And trans number.
Trick question. You used the word sir.
That was intentional. Anyway, see the absurdity that...
Oh my god, a microaggression.
See the absurdity in this little roleplay with Astra. Like, she can't really decide what to do because the school's like, yeah, in order to be progressive, we're gonna tell you what to do. You're not allowed to choose. No decisions for you, Astra.
Oh no.
And now you will learn how to computer, whether you want to or not.
And of course, after you finish the course, you're like, okay, now I'm free to do what I want. And then the government is then the government's like, no, you have to become IT now. Actually, I don't think the government can and will enforce that, but
only
Google will.
but only if the government is cultural socialist.
Well, you say that, but Australia just tried to push a new thing in their government. They've decided that in order to equalize the gender gap in the Australian military, they are not going to take on any men. They're just going to take on women for a while.
oh,
Which
go ahead.
Which isn't sexist at all.
Oi, mate, Astra. Oi, mate. Welcome to Australia. Thank you for my grain. You'll work in the military. Here's your helmet. Oi, here's your complimentary snake. Got a lot of them here in Australia, and
but only women, Artrix.
Yes,
only the women migrants get to be drafted into the army.
Yes, that's why I said that to Astra.
Yes.
Here's a complimentary snake, mate, cunt, because that's what we say to everyone here, cunt. So we might outlaw that soon enough, mate. So go ahead, shoot some blokes, because you're only allowed to shoot blokes. No women killing. When we send you out to Afghanistan, you can only shoot women. I mean, guys.
It's kind of funny, actually.
But Artrix, there are Muslims in Afghanistan. Not all Muslims.
I mean,
you do. Oi, mate, you do bring up a good point. We will have a big discussion about it in the government in I don't know. I don't know what we do in Australia. Something government.
And the worst part is that not even Astra, like Astra won't even get heard by Google because she's not a trans lesbian.
It's funny, actually. Google's hiring policies definitely do prioritize one race over others, and that's Asians. Their company is headquartered in America, which has a 90% white population, yet they have about 30% Asians on staff, which is way, way past representative. It's almost like they tend to hire people based on their abilities and experience.
Are you implying that Asians are good at math?
We don't speak about Asians around here.
I would never imply such a horrible racial stereotype. Because all stereotypes are bad. Even the good ones.
Especially the good ones. It's microaggression.
Like that only black men are good at sex?
No, I'm pretty sure I got a big dick.
That's
Doesn't mean you're
compensating
good
for
at sex,
something.
Panboy.
Yes, I'm a tiny, tiny person. I need to compensate with my pants. It's okay, nobody's ever seen it.
Not even you.
Except for you.
I'm not blind. I can look down.
Instant comment here about at least not having the belly to obscure the view of your neither region.
Your Netherlands.
So yeah, what we were trying to allude to there is that Google's current hiring practices, or should I say firing practices, seem to be kind of Orwellian.
Just
a man at Google recently came out and posted a memo that suggested that there are differences between the sexes. And that might affect whether they want to do IT or not.
Blasphemy.
That's it. That was the gist of his memo. the memo was guys like machines, girls don't, on average.
On average, which is an important part in all of this. Because here's the thing about this whole gender, woman, man thing. You know, I go to the Twitters, and there are a bunch of particular quote-unquote persons on the Twitters. They're like, oh, so this guy or person is like, oh, so you're saying that women are not ambitious, that women, you know, just don't have the drive that men have. And I'm like, no, you're not understanding the point. What they're saying is that on average, we see a tendency that women are not as competitive as men. On average, which means that if you are a particularly competitive woman that wants to go into business or IT or whatnot, there is nothing stopping you from doing that.
Except for Elon Musk.
For what? For what?
Elon Musk. You know, the guy.
Oh, yes.
His secretary asked him for a raise, and he fired her and replaced her with a team of assistants.
What? Really?
I heard
It wasn't
was denying that was happening.
direct. It was a series of events that were pre-planned, and she just happened to do the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Uh-huh.
He was already planning to fire her and replace her with a team of assistants.
How does one man need so many assistants? Or isn't that one?
He's rich.
Isn't that what one actually calls having a company?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I don't know.
They stop being personal assistants when they're actually a company you're running.
And no one can possibly have a use for 10 assistants. I wouldn't even know what to use 10 assistants for.
Getting 10 cups of coffee at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can only drink one or two at a time. By the time
You
I'm
assign
drinking.
a person
You can drink all of them at the same time by stringing
you
a bunch
assign a
of,
person to bring you
stringing a
coffee,
bunch of
and you assign a person
together.
to deal with PR, and you assign a person to carry your car keys, and you assign a person to blame Thunderfoot for every Hyperloop mistake, and shit like that.
Sounds good.
Sounds incredibly inefficient, but I'll take it.
He's rich. He doesn't need to be efficient, Artrix.
Yes.
I mean, Hyperloop.
He should move in with Notch.
That would be hilarious. They're just sitting there, just shit posting all the time.
Well, no, it's like you'd have this stupidly charismatic idiot who has billions of dollars, and then you'd have Notch, who's exactly the opposite. Zero charisma, just looked on a really good game idea and became rich as fuck, who really doesn't give a shit about his social image. It would be like, well, a buddy cop movie where neither of them really could understand the other at all.
That's what's so great about Notch. He's completely outside of the idea that celebrities should be, I don't know, responsible and wise. He's just a neckbeard who likes to shitpost and happens to have a lot of money.
That is the great thing about Notch.
Notch is the greatest hero of our time. Because he just doesn't give a shit. And that's fantastic.
But social justice and whatnot. And he doesn't give a shit. He's like this has shitposting potential, so I'll make fun of it.
He just likes to shit all over social justice. I wouldn't call that not giving a shit. I'd call that just giving a negative shit.
Well, he still doesn't give a shit, but he does see it as, you know, potential for keks and lols, I suppose.
Yes. Just jump all over those strange ideas.
He's not giving a shit. He's posting shit.
But yeah, they can't do anything to him because he is set for life. And the same the same can kind of be said about PewDiePie. Even though he lost his contract with Disney, he still has like what?
Disney.
Billions? Not millions of billions. He's not that rich, but
he was a self-made YouTube celebrity before Disney ever went anywhere near him. So
he has several gorillions, Artrix.
So they can't undo that.
Yes.
No matter how much they try.
And he still has a very solid following as well. So it's not like he's everyone just rage quitted on him. Quite to the contrary, I think his subscriber base actually grew because of this. It's the kind of Streisand effect that it, you know.
Even after all that, I still won't follow him because, good God, is his content vapid and stupid.
It is really vapid and stupid.
Unless he changed, like I still think of PewDiePie as the person screaming at buckets in horror games from 10 years ago.
Yes.
From what I've seen, his content has changed quite significantly. I think he's doing a lot more. But he's still
the fidget spinner equivalent of YouTubers.
Yes. But he's not quite just doing Let's Plays anymore, as far as I know. But then again, I don't really care. I just thought it was funny that he was at the center of this whole drama thing and still came out on top.
Of course, because
Well, go on.
When they can't actually attack your when they can't attack your job because you're self-employed, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Well, except for when they try to go after his income, I suppose. But you know, when they can't fire you, they try to take you down a notch, and they kind of did. But he's still up and running, so nice try, but no.
Is this because they still don't understand how social media works?
Well, they did torpedo the entirety of the YouTube advertising method, so it hurt a lot of people, but it's slowly turning around. Like
Yes, they finally got to social media by ignoring the social media part and going for money as usual.
Mm-hmm. But eventually, YouTube will have to reverse basically their advertising position, or they won't have anything to advertise on. And YouTube doesn't make any money, but now it's making even less money from the fact that they've got no ad revenue. Because it doesn't just hurt the creators, it hurts YouTube as well to not run ads on YouTube.
I think it particularly hurts YouTube, and here's why. Because a lot of creators are like, you know what, this YouTube isn't really paying us anymore, so if you like my content, pay me on Patreon. Just pay me directly. And for a lot of these big YouTubers, it actually works. I think Sargon makes like $6,000 a month just doing YouTube videos. That
direct
you can
on Patreon.
Yes.
You have to remember though, a lot of the Patreon, the public, what they put on the website about what creators are earning tends to be wrong, because a lot of people make false pledges. They use expired cards or false cards, and then they bounce when the monthly payment comes
But
by.
even if you only get 50% of that amount, you can make it. You can have a decent living on $3,000 a month.
Oh yeah, no,
it wouldn't be great, but you can actually, it would be fairly nice, especially if you got other streams of revenue. And I'm pretty sure he's got, he doesn't put all his baskets in one. And also he still gets money from YouTube, so he gets money from the Patreons, and he gets money from YouTube still, and merch, and he gets around. So the content creators, they were fucked, but they're still relatively fine. YouTube, on the other hand, they were sharing the revenue from the ads, but if there's no ads, then you don't make money.
Then you get the more disgusting thing that they do sometimes as well. They tell you that your video is not monetized, then they run ads on it anyway.
Okay, that is kind of scumbaggy.
Yeah, and that's what happens when a third party claims the content that you're doing. Like a lot that happens with a lot of Nintendo videos. But I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube would run that same kind of system on videos that they've deemed inappropriate, but then decided, you know what, these aren't actually inappropriate, but we're going to run ads on it without telling anyone.
So yeah, they are making content for the YouTubes, and YouTube's like, well, you're mini pants, no ads for you. Next we do.
And no comments for you, and no likes for you.
Oh yeah, that's a new system they've introduced as well. We should talk about that actually. YouTube restricted mode. So now on YouTube there exists a mode where if you put up a video and it's decided this video is mildly sensitive by some metric that nobody knows,
but it doesn't go against the terms of YouTube.
Yeah, even if it doesn't break any of the rules, they'll put it into restricted mode, at which point you cannot run ads, nobody can comment on it, and it won't show up in any of the feeds, except your direct subscribers, I believe.
And there we get that quote from that one dude, I think it was from YouTube, where he was like,
YouTube
we don't...
forgets to show that the new videos are in the feed.
Yes. So that brings us to that one quote from that one dude. I think it was from YouTube or the Googles. Was like, it's not.
I don't understand
it's not.
Why would anybody use the feed for new videos? It's extremely inconvenient to use that.
So the guy was like, it's not censorship. We're not putting the videos away. We're just, we just make them unavailable. It's not book burning. It's not like we're burning the books. We just delete them. We're just making them unavailable. It's not censorship.
Artrix, they don't even delete them. They just put them into a cellar and lock the door and then throw the key into a sewage tank.
Exactly. It's not censorship at all. That's just those mean gamer gators that are just whining.
Those fucking gamers.
Fucking gamer gators. I hate gamers so much. Proceeds to play video game.
It's that's another.
Proceeds to play Gun Home.
Yes.
Every time some political thing pops up now, someone immediately compares it to any opposition to it to Gamergate.
Oh, actually, a bunch of my IRL friends, and I keep them around because they're IRL friends, but politically, they're like, whenever something happens that they don't like, they do
I call them IRL friends, but politically, they are internet enemies.
So they're like, yeah, the stupid MRA, Gaming Gator, and whatever other labels they, MGTOW, they also complain about. That's something I don't get. These people are apparently very upset with MGTOW, and I think they're probably the most harmless group out there. What?
Yes, but they are going their own way.
What exactly is so bad about MGTOW?
They are going their own way, not the way other people tell them to.
It's because there's like a handful of people who claim themselves to be MGTOWs who are very loud on the internet and really aren't MGTOWs, but they have very sexist attitudes towards ladies and really, really want to get laid. I've seen these people myself.
You mean feminist allies?
Yeah, pretty much. But they're MGTOWs. But they're horrifying little trolls. But there's only a couple of these people. Yeah, they just happen to be the noticeable ones.
They are a really, really small minority. And also, I figure, okay, so you're MGTOW, so you're not interested in forming long-lasting relationships with women. Mm-hmm. Why should we care? You're going your own way.
But that's, as I said, that's the thing. Yeah. The people who are loud on the internet are not really going their own way at all. They're basically just...
I don't know what their deal is, but...
They're odd.
But yeah, I don't care about MGTOW videos. I mean, they're out there, and I'm like, okay, well, these videos are for MGTOW. They're obviously not for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched a few. I was like, this is completely boring and stupid. And what's your point exactly?
Artrix is not even going his own way.
No, I'm going the Artrix way, which is a universal way that everyone agrees with.
Is that so?
Well, not really. But yeah, I don't really get the hate for MGTOW.
It's silly, the hate for any group.
Yes.
This is just modern racism, really. People have decided, you know what, hating people because of their race isn't good enough anymore. let's hate people based on silly ideological differences.
Mm.
And it's exploded recently.
Yeah,
it just has.
Which is why I make a point not to let this flow into my real life relationships. I mean, if they want to spout stupid shit like, oh, Gamergate is literally Hitler, then I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Go and believe that. How about them video games? Or let's watch a movie or whatever. Because I'm not...
You can't enjoy video games now. That makes you
Politics
evil.
are a completely valid reason to break up.
Besides, I mean, you already have lots of reasons to not like everyday people anyway, like how they look or how they smell.
I met a person once.
Oh God!
I know, right?
It sounds very scary.
It was. I had to get a new internet to clean the old one after they were exposed. It was awful.
Well, I have my condolences.
Thanks.
Okay, and does anyone have anything?
Condolences.
Does anyone have anything to add about Google and their very tolerant stance on people they don't agree with?
No,
Okay,
but apparently Blizzard, you know, the small gaming company,
very small one.
is launching global diversity and inclusion initiative.
Which
Because
means
they don't have enough women, and I guess I don't know, black people. Oh no! Women only make 1/5 of their workforce. How terrible!
I was always on the impression that Blizzard was already a fairly diverse company.
It's not 50-50, Artrix, doesn't matter. That needs to be exactly 50-50 white and Chinese and white and black and white and women people.
Oh, so just the way we need to make sure that all the garbage collectors are also exactly 50-50. Let's get on right now.
It's not about diversity of ideas. It's about being a Star Trek crew.
don't forget about sewage workers,
But
especially
but-
the
but
ones who
Panboy,
pump the septic
Panboy.
shit.
On the Star Trek crew, there was the guy who was white and kissed the woman who was not white.
Oh, fine, now no one hears me.
And you know
Oh, yeah.
everybody hates that. I mean, all the neo-Nazis hate it because one of this person is black, and all the progressives hate it because one of those people is white. What you gonna do now?
Well, obviously, you just need to blow the world up now.
And we can
Oh,
hear
it's
you
just
fine,
bullshit.
Sekele. It's weird. It's just so dumb. It's all so dumb. But, you know, speaking of dumb, Trump is threatening to nuke all of North Korea, apparently. Or at least
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's the notion that everyone seems to be spewing. It's like, oh my God, Trump is threatening Korea with war. It's almost like Korea are threatening America with war. Like,
Well, I mean, Korea did say that if they are going to use those nukes, they are going to use them in war against America exclusively.
mm-hmm.
Only for America, you know, since
And that's
it's obviously
intention.
not enough to attack Japan.
And that's not threatening at all. I can't imagine why another world leader would take umbrage with such suggestions.
But you see, Panboy, you need to be progressive and turn the other cheek and whatnot, because you're probably oppressing Korea right now.
But if they nuke one cheek and you turn the other cheek, then they'll just nuke that too.
I know.
Nuke all the cheeks.
But it's the current year, Panboy. Why aren't you in the current year yet? Are you still hanging on to the old current year? Are you current year phobic?
Are you saying it's not 2015 anymore?
It's not 2015 anymore. It's not even
Oh.
2014.
According
Just-
to the bottle of pills, it still is 2015,
I think you might not want to get some new pills.
probably.
Don't take them all at once. That's probably bad for you.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's the climate between North Korea and USA, I think, is getting a little unstable, just
Mhm.
a tad. With Korea saying we're going to launch a bunch of missiles directly at right next to Guam, and America being like, well, we don't like having missiles being launched directly right next to Guam because we have people who live there, and if you launch missiles at there, we will launch missiles back.
Also, Guam is kind of America, you see. So
Yeah,
and
well, they've got
kinda-
bases.
yes, wasn't Guam not just like a big American base and nothing else?
I'm not entirely sure what exactly is on the island of Guam. I do know there is an American base, and Americans live there because there's a base. I don't know about the actual government of Guam.
Well, this is a U.S. territory, so they are a part of the United States, but they're unincorporated or whatever, so they don't get to vote on the president and whatnot. So yeah, they're not like Puerto Rico, which is kind of like United States light, where they're like, yeah, we're part of the United States and we have an American passport and shit, but we don't get to vote, and we have no say in the federal government, but we're American.
America has some odd ways of treating its colonies.
It's really confusing. But not as confusing as the UC. The UC's got some really confusing relics from the past. You're like, okay, so what are you exactly? Well, we're part of the United Kingdom, but we're also not part of the United Kingdom. We're part of the Commonwealth, but yeah, shit's complicated.
We are a fully, entirely independent Canada, and the Queen is on our money.
Yep, something like that.
Huh.
But I think that
independent queen.
I think that has everything to do with Canada being in the Commonwealth still. So the Commonwealth is like a bunch of independent countries, but they're also, you know, still represented by the UK because, I don't know, multicultural heritage or whatever you.
Oh well, maybe the Queen will declare war from Canada on America someday, and then Guam can launch all its nukes at South Korea.
It was all just a clever ruse.
Yes, but yeah, the Americans, they're
This
terrifying.
didn't seem like a ruse.
But yeah, the Americans.
It's just it's almost like they're working up towards another Cold War with Korea.
Isn't that already what's kind of happening with in the last half year? I mean, this shit's been going on for some time now.
Except it's not quite like the Cold War, because in the Cold War, America and Russia were kind of on par with technology. And in this war, it's kind of like America's sitting there saying, yes, you are developing technology we developed in the 60s that we can shoot down. So it's not, I can't say I see it. I can't say I see North Korea as being any kind of threat to America, even if they did launch their missiles.
After all, they're like, we can shoot you down before you even leave the borders of your country.
Yeah.
And North Korea is like, we can also shoot us down before we even leave the borders of our country.
Which kind of made the Amazing Atheist video a bit silly, where he did seem to be an impression that North Korea was a legit threat to the United States.
What I imagine will happen if North Korea goes ahead with their test to launch missiles near Guam, what I would suggest the Americans do to make a show of force without endangering anybody would be simply to shoot down those missiles.
North Korea would be a threat if they had any backup from China. However, I really doubt that China is going to support them.
China is very embarrassed by their existence.
Well, that's the thing. That's still not North Korea being a threat. That's China being a threat. Yes, China would be a threat to basically anyone because they've got a huge army. And even if they don't have a huge army right now, they can conscript half their population.
And would they be a threat to China?
And they have a nuclear arsenal. Let's not forget that either.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even if they go nuclear, yes, it's a threat. If they go not nuclear, they've got the biggest land army on the planet. But even at that, like, well, yeah, no, I don't think anyone could stand up in a land war against China. unless there was a coup in China after it started.
I'm not entirely sure about
Panboy, you are forgetting that North Korea has the biggest land army in North Korea.
That is true. That is certainly true. Their land army could easily defeat itself.
But
Not-
that's one way to take down North Korea. And it's already kind of happening. Apparently, the South Koreans are smuggling in like USB drives and whatnot into North Korea to basically tell them that life you're having right now, it is kind of shit. It really sucks. Like look at this. We got USB cheese. USB cheese. We have USB cheese. What else do you have to say?
It's a cheese made of USBs.
Yes. You're living in a shitty country with a stupid
My
leader, and
God.
we have USB cheese. You're missing out, man. I guess you have democracy and beer and whatnot, but USB cheese.
I saw a fantastic illustration of North Korea versus South Korea. It went something like this: there was a bunch of men in a mine yelling, "We must have more minerals," while Koreans mined away the minerals with pickaxes. And then you had the same thing happening in South Korea, where someone was yelling, "We must mine more minerals," while a person sat behind a computer playing StarCraft 2 with a Starbucks.
Yes. That's hilarious.
I think I would rather be the person. I mean, as awful as I find playing StarCraft 2 to be, I think that would be preferable to literally mining with a pickaxe. Because nobody even does that anymore. You use a big drill.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think mining still happens in the United States. It obviously happens in China.
From Africa.
It does, yes, of course. But they
It's a source of work opportunities.
they use giant pneumatic drills that pound into the ground.
They definitely got a lot better. I've been to the mining museum in the great province of Limburg, Netherlands, which was very, very impressive. But yeah, in the olden times, they basically just dug down in the ground and they used carts and shit to just constantly dig up coal. But these days they just dig a giant fucking hole and just dig it like right there and then. They don't
Was
bother
that the
with.
one I was at as well?
No. The
Oh.
one we were at was barely even a mine. It was
Oh.
actually quite small.
Okay, what you're describing there is a quarry.
Yes.
And yes, quarries exist, but a lot of mining still happens in tunnels underground because it's just not efficient to. If the ore veins are really deep,
Oh yeah, then you definitely have to dig down.
yeah, you can't just bring in the Badger 288 and go straight down because it would just take you far too long.
But they do have far more advanced technology and whatnot. The tech we used in the 60s and 70s was relatively and extremely primitive compared to what we can use now.
It actually isn't that different. You'd be surprised. The tunnel, they still go down with a handheld, but well, it's not exactly handheld. You put it on a tripod and you push it against a wall and you press a button and it just destroys concrete or stone. But it's a big pneumatic drill and you have to move it every couple of minutes manually. But and they've been using drills like that since the 60s and 70s, actually. Just now.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, because the mine in Limburg closed down in 75, I believe. So I think they were about to upgrade or already did some upgrades as they were about to close down all the coal mines in the Netherlands, because it was just not feasible anymore at that point. Like,
Just not enough coal?
I don't think there was enough coal. Labor was too expensive. It just didn't make sense for the Netherlands to be mining minerals.
Huh. That's a shame. We need more minerals.
I think the same can be said about the situation in UK, actually, where they figured, yeah, we just can't compete with the Chinas and Americas and other emerging economies in the world, so we'll just shut down the
And
Gold
also EU
mines.
told them that all minerals need to be free range.
Yes. You see, the minerals weren't regulated, you see. It was unregulated minerals, so they need to regulate it, and then they figured, well, in order to regulate the minerals, we just need to close it all down, because obviously it's too dangerous.
I do love EU sanctions. You know, there's so many European companies and businesses, entire fields of business that just ceased to exist once countries joined the EU.
Yeah.
Because EU wants to destroy us all.
Happened here
Destroy us
too.
all.
Actually, it was funny because the economic crisis helped EU greatly.
How so?
And that's how we lost the glass industry.
The economic crisis killed your glass industry.
How?
Yes. Obviously, there was not enough demand for glass.
Oh. Yeah, actually, I think it killed Waterford Crystal as well, which used to be a famous... Okay, whose noise is that?
There was a lot of noise coming from all over the fucking place.
But yeah, Waterford Crystal, which was a worldwide famous glass company, shut down during the crisis as well. That was very much a designer glass company.
Mm-hmm. You see, it wasn't just regular glass; it was regulated glass. No, I mean designer glass.
Well, it was lead crystal glass.
So in a way, it was regulated.
It was shiny.
Exactly. It was probably built exactly to spec.
Oh, it was. That was the point. It was very shiny. Very specs.
Yes. Shiny.
So, did you find yourself a topic for us to talk about, Artrix?
Actually, I was just gonna talk about the Google thing. Let's see if I do have something to bring up, but for now, I'm gonna ask Sekele. Do you have a topic you want to bring up?
Okay, first off, can you actually hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear just fine.
So it's something I wanted to bring up last week, but we didn't get to it.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that one. So basically, a nice little situation over in the Czech Republic. Back during World War II, the Czech Republic was under the control of Nazi Germany, and on their territory was a concentration camp, which did all the stuff concentration camps usually do. After the Nazis were defeated and communism took over, the Communist Party, in their endless wisdom, decided to turn said concentration camp into a pig farm. Decades later, communism is gone, and the Czech government would like to turn said former concentration camp turned pig farm into a memorial. However, any attempts to turn said pig farm into a Holocaust memorial has failed, and it keeps failing for decades. So, till this day, a former concentration camp continues to serve its duty as a pig farm.
Filthy communist pigs.
Which is, by the way, pretty ironic considering that Jews are not allowed to eat pork. Judaism considers the pig to be the most impure creature, and to them it's pretty much the ultimate insult to have a place where their ancestors died run over by pigs.
That
Although
is
to be fair,
kinda...
statistically, apparently in said concentration camp, the people who were killed over there were mostly gypsies and Slavic people, but there were still Jews, and when most people think about the Holocaust, they think about the Jews. So it's a very interesting scenario, to say the least.
But the weird thing here is that, okay, so there's pigs in it. You think they
it's a
would
pig
keep...
farm.
Yeah, you think that they would appreciate it. It'll keep the Jews out. Give them even less incentive to go there. Like, this is where my ancestors were systematically murdered. So, yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere near that. Especially now that
Look
it's
at
full...
it from this perspective. Their souls are haunting the place and are constantly surrounded by pigs.
Well, yeah, that's if you believe that you become a ghost. Are you saying that everyone in that concentration camp went ghost? Okay, I think that joke kind of fell flat.
It's a good joke. Well made.
GG.
I literally haven't heard anything you just said.
Oh, okay, well that
Good
explains
job.
everything. Basically, I made a dumb "I'm going ghost" joke. GG.
Oh, okay.
And it got exactly the level of respect it deserved.
Which is none.
Yes.
It got exactly the same amount of respect as that killer from that particular shooting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Hartman Senpai still didn't notice
Wait,
him.
seriously, he's still completely unaware that this happened, or did he just?
Well,
not?
at least I follow Hartman on some of his social media, like not all of them, but some.
He
And
didn't. He
he
never brought up.
didn't even ever bring up that something like this happened.
But
Good.
okay,
You
but
shouldn't
it's
break the
probably that's probably premeditated though. I can imagine that he knows about it, but he knows damn well that bringing this up will just, you know,
Well, it would give
Like
credence.
not dignifying the action.
exactly, it would dignify his horrendous act with a response from the creator of the show, which is not what you want to do. Also, you don't want to really bring this to light while there is still a significant portion of your audience that's probably underage and young and impressionable. You don't, yeah. I can see why. I can
There's
see why.
absolutely no reason that Hartman should ever respond to that attack. That would be dumb.
Oh, maybe in like an interview or whatever, but at least in a scenario where he's not directly interacting with his fans.
To be honest, if I was Hartman and an interviewer ever actually asked me about that, I would be annoyed by that to that interviewer, and I would end the interview.
Wow. Well, that's a fair point. Though on the other hand, I'm like, yeah.
Like,
No, that is on one hand, yes, his involvement in this whole ordeal is practically zero. I mean, Hartman didn't decide to do this; it was completely out of his control. You know, it's kind of the same thing with it's kind of the same argument that some people have with the anti-SJWs, and you know, oh my God, Sargon made a video about Anita Sarkeesian and how all his followers go after her, and it's all his fault because he didn't tell people not to go after his targets enough, even though he does it in almost every single fucking video he does.
That's irrelevant. You have no control of the people who enjoy your stuff. It's the same. I'm sure fans of Anita Sarkeesian have said horrible things to followers of Sargon.
Exactly. So it's not just a double-edged sword, but the whole argument of, oh my God, you make content that I disagree with, and your followers might possibly maybe do a thing that I disagree that might hurt people. So you should actually not make the content that you're making because it might possibly maybe hurt someone's feelings.
And if we all went around all day constantly avoiding hurting anyone's feelings by stating opinions that they disagree with, no one would ever say anything.
And
except
that's
for the most mundane.
That's probably the point.
It's exactly the point, yes.
You know, make people so afraid to speak up and say anything, you win. Except people don't shut the fuck up. Quite to the contrary.
Thank God we live in a world where you can spew your opinion out on the internet regardless of how good, bad, or indifferent it is. You've got the freedom to say it and people can listen. Until of course, websites like Facebook and Twitter start really locking down the speech.
But here's the thing though. Because a lot of people are putting their sites on sites like Twitter, the site, by the way, that's not exactly doing well for itself right now. Twitter is still trying to figure out how the fuck they should make money.
Well, yeah, they were never doing particularly well, but they're doing even worse now that they're showing such a large ideological bias.
So you got that. What's stopping people from just, reverting back to Web 1.0 and just making their own goddamn websites? No one's stopping you from just getting, web space. You go to a web host, pay like less than 10 a month, and you can build whatever the fuck website you want.
You can do that, yes, but the truth is you don't get the same reach you get on a platform like Twitter or Facebook. Everyone on the planet can see what you do on Twitter or Facebook. It's right there on a platform they're already using. So
what's stopping the world from not doing that anymore?
People want to be in a community.
Well,
they don't want to have to try to start a new one.
But yeah, it's become very apparent that, Twitter and Facebook are not very good gatekeepers. I mean, that's actually that's kind of the crux here. Like, we don't really have this. There was this image I saw recently where you could see that the sites are kind of consolidating into these giant social media sites. Like in the mid 2000s, you still had like about 20. Before that, it was more akin to like 50. And now it's all boiled down to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, maybe Instagram and whatnot. It's all condensing down to these very small number of websites, which is, kind of disturbing.
I agree. The internet is becoming a bit of a few little monopolies. And that is kind of that's not healthy for the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The internet used to be really great because it had so many different ways to interact with people, and you were free to experiment. It was far more experimental, and you could try new things and whatnot. Nowadays, it's like, do you want a big reach? Well, Facebook.
Back in the way back in the early 2000s, I used to use about 6 different forum websites, and 3 of those were dedicated to one video game. But that was the internet culture at the time. It was, if you wanted to talk to people about these things, you went onto a forum that was dedicated. Now everyone just goes onto Reddit,
which is another one of those sites.
Reddit seems to have replaced or dominated
I never used Reddit in my life.
Neither have I, but it seems to have dominated forums.
I also never used Facebook in my life.
Oh, me neither. I hate Facebook.
I have a Facebook account, but I do not use it. Sometimes people in real life send me messages there to try to organize real life events, and then I see them 6 months later. And they're like, why didn't you go to my party? I was like, what party? I was like, I invited you on Facebook. I was like,
oh, there you go. Well, I don't use Facebook.
It's like, you should probably actually try to contact me, not use a website I've never visited. That's just silly.
But yeah, Reddit is kind of nice, though it does have a very clear ideological bias as well. But
they all do.
It's a fairly nice news aggregator. Like, it's a good place to just find random crap on the internet, but I think it's not very good as a discussion platform.
Well, it's basically a forum. It's just a forum with billions of subforums with no real concentrated point, which I think is kind of the point, actually. That's why all these sites are popular, because there's no specialization on them. And because there's no specialization, you can do anything you can imagine, or talk about anything you can imagine.
Until someone arbitrarily decides, yeah, you cannot talk about that.
Yeah, it's like, we don't like anime on this forum anymore, you're banned. We don't like Pony, you're banned. We don't like that particular video game because it has racist undertones. It's like, what? This game is about anti-racism. Yes, but it uses racism to tell that message, so it's banned.
Yep.
I actually don't have an actual example for that, but I can imagine happening.
So yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss the days of, well, you just build a website and people go to it, and if you want some more reach, you just join forums and whatnot, instead of all this. I already noticed it like in the 2000s when they were starting to push this shit. I already had this underlying feeling of, oh my god, they're trying to turn the internet into like they're trying to centralize all this shit to these central social media sites. And for a time,
trying to turn internet into TV.
well, yeah, they are trying to turn the internet into niftier TV.
That's why I hate Netflix. It's like taking up 30% of internet traffic.
Well, at least
For
there is
what?
still the deep web.
It's kind of funny, actually. Netflix sort of took over the big draw from Pirate Bay, and it just goes to show that the majority of internet use seems to actually just be watching TV.
Yes.
Well, Panboy, that's because it got to the normies.
Well, yeah.
But
And
Netflix
they
is really
had
nice.
to appreciate the freedom of choice when you can just go and sit and watch your TV series.
The thing,
Because that's the major difference compared to TV. TV is like you have this and you have that, and be here at 15:00 so you can watch it. On internet, you can just sit and watch as much as you like. Well, that's why the ironic part is that Netflix is starting to have programming.
yes, it's starting to become like a fully fledged TV station that actually makes
But
original
nobody
content.
likes TV stations. They never like.
No, but
okay,
they're not.
Internet's been around for about 20 years in the current form, more or less. They still don't get it.
Nobody enjoying content on the schedule of a TV station.
Yes.
But that's the thing about Netflix. It's not. You can
Yes,
watch
but-
the content on Netflix whenever you want. You don't
Okay.
have to.
I just said that. I also said something more, Artrix. Next time, listen.
Yes, he just told you that they are starting to schedule things
Oh,
on Netflix.
okay. I didn't catch that part. You see, I'm drawing, so that's my excuse.
Oh shit! There's storm starting. I might or might not disappear again.
Oh no.
ITT, huge storm in Czechia.
No, I'm not in Czechia.
You are.
I'm in Slovakia.
Your own country decided to call your country Czechia from now on.
Yes, but I'm not in that part of the country.
What part of the country are you in?
I'm in the historical country of Moravia in its eastern part, which is called Wallachia.
All right.
Actually, I'm just kind of teasing him because the Czech government decided that to Anglophones, it is now Czechia. That's the official name of the Czech Republic.
Which is pretty much German. How would you call this place German?
Yeah, so
That's what we were trying, like, I don't know, 300 years to not be called.
then again, the Dutch tourist website is Holland.nl, which is just one province and not the entire
Which is
country.
perfectly
So-
fine, because your country is named Hollandsko in Czech.
Well, we are called Netherlands, not Holland. But to be fair, it is the best province, so yes, I'm kind of fine with that.
You might as well pretend it's in
Anyway, we're kind of starting to run out of time, so let's bring up Astra time. Actually, seriously, did she leave? For fuck's sake, Astra. We had a topic lined up for her.
That's
and
why
then...
I need to bring up Astra time at
Astra
the
left.
beginning before she has time to escape.
Well, in that case, I'll
I mean,
bring up...
Artrix, you made her say like 2 sentences. That was too much for her.
Yeah, she's probably completely exhausted from that enormous effort.
And she was like, "I'm not doing this again."
And
Alright.
anyway, I'll fill in for Astra. I'm a girl now. Feels kind of weird, by the way.
It's always been
All these ovaries and shit, kind of itchy. Anyway,
all of them.
so
You need a Artrix.
apparently the red of the junks is getting a buff in the Overwatches. And so does Window Maker. She can make windows way faster than she could before. Because you see her grappling hook you can use it more often now. Also, apparently Junkrat gets like 2 concussion bombs, so he can he basically becomes like Genji but with explosives.
What do concussion bombs do in this terrible video game that you're obsessed
They
with?
concuss. Actually, it's a concussion bomb.
By the way,
It's a bad trap.
did we
and
mention
you step into the bad
already
trap
the
and it can't
new
move.
Overwatch skins that were released?
Oh yeah, that happened too. The summer games are here, and
They brought back Lucio Ball.
Yep.
You can
Ugh,
once
why?
again get all the skins from the previous year's summer games, which is a first.
it is.
They seem to be continuing the trend of turning Soldier 76 into the ultimate dad, because
Ah.
that's basically his new skin.
The great new
Bad.
skin for soldiers, fucking
Obviously.
great. I mean, well, I am Astra now, so he's obviously my husbando now.
Mhm.
I see.
Yes.
And what does this mean? Are you going to marry a soldier with 76 guns? That's what it means, right?
Well, since I transitioned like a minute ago, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh.
I can't really say that I've got much experience with this right now, so yeah, sure. I mean, I am a Junkrat main, but
You haven't spent years thinking about what your husbando would be if you were otherwise inclined.
not really.
I've put a lot of thought into mine.
Okay, so what would your husbando be if?
Lucario, of course.
Okay. How about
big
you,
ol'-
Sekele?
Hmm?
How about you, Sekele? You've just become a girl. Who's gonna be your husbando?
That's a hard choice. Well,
Why?
it would probably be somewhere between Soldier 76, Reaper, Junkrat, Roadhog. Yeah, I'm a whore.
You
Yeah,
all
that you basically
you're-
listed all.
your choice for husbando
like
is
my
just the
con-
entire male cast.
He
of
forgot
Overwatch.
Winston.
Not entire.
Winston would obviously be my husbando.
Artrix, he's a monkey.
Exactly, that's
He's an
pretty
ape,
hard.
you racist.
To the
No.
monkey!
No, but honestly, it would actually be or McCree, especially after that last skin.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
McCree.
god damn, that's some beefcake right there.
Someone. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
was trying to say. Mostly the beefcakes.
You guys can't even think out of the Overwatch box right now. Of all the decades of media you've experienced, you're just like, oh, I can only think of Overwatch husbandos.
No,
Right?
to be fair, I was just going with.
Just between all of us, mine is Aragorn.
I was going with Sekele because I did notice that he was only listing
He
Overwatch
is your
characters.
husband, though.
And they listed all of them.
Yes, for some reason.
Except for Winston.
Except for Winston, because he's obviously speciesist. Stop being so speciesist.
Yeah. If you don't want Winston as your husband, then Harambe died for nothing.
Yep. Do it for Harambe.
If it's going to be any husband, though, I would go with Aquaman.
Ooh, interesting choice, but why?
Which Aquaman?
Why Aquaman?
The old Aquaman or the new
Let's see.
bodybuilding?
He's a
terrible
good
Conan one?
swimmer. He's an underdog. He basically owns the ocean.
He commands the penises of the sea.
Well, he commands dolphins. They're pretty.
And once again,
Aggressively
I
sexy.
hear nothing you are saying.
You know, it's like I think you really need to take a sit down and really think about what it means to have a husbando.
What does it mean?
It means to be in love with Aragorn.
Exactly. You. It's like choosing an imaginary wife that you'll never have. It's very important, and you can't just say any old random people.
Well, my choice for my husbando would be very obvious.
You.
Timmy
No,
Turner.
No, it would be Gaston, because no one fights like Gaston, and no one eats like Gaston, and that chest hair, god damn.
The Gaston's a pretty good husbando, in fairness.
Well, if he's kind of a project dude, you can change him, which is something girls like to do. They look at a man like, he's got issues. He's a project guy. I can change him.
He might be a little aggressive for you.
And then 30 years later, she has 2 black eyes. Constantly says she walked into the door.
You watched the last episode of Camp, didn't you?
His house has a lot of doors.
Well, yeah, the doors in Gaston's house are very dangerous because he's a very dangerous man. You see.
No one falls against. Nobody falls against a door like Gaston's wife.
Yes. Nobody has as many slippery floors and dangerous doorknobs as Gaston.
But yeah, he'd definitely be a little, he'd be a project guy. He'd be like, okay, I can change him.
I wonder if we're all going to be called homophobic for this now. I mean, we just fantasize about who our gay lovers would be, but somehow that's going to make us homophobic to the SJW crowd.
It's because it's gay.
I mean, we did very specifically say, what if we turn into a girl?
That's even worse. Now we're transphobic.
But obviously, if I turn into a girl,
wait. So
how 200-kilo lesbian?
But how does it make us transphobic if we're even entertaining the thought of transitioning?
Exactly. That's transphobic.
Oh.
Because you're not committing to the idea, Artrix. Go and chop your leg off right now.
So even if I hypothesize doing exactly the thing that they aim to do, I'm transphobic.
Yeah.
This world is confusing.
Obviously, you haven't been on Twitter lately.
Well, I have, but even there, the argument doesn't become as fucked up as what I just said.
Oh, it does. Don't worry. Or worse yet, go onto Tumblr and search for Steven Universe.
Yeah, I don't need to.
What?
That you said enough.
What's with Steven?
Well, just the fandom and how obsessed they are with the.
Fandom is very friendly.
Yeah, try drawing a picture of Rose Quartz that's not 100% on model and see how they react.
They will very politely and civilly communicate to you that they suggest that maybe, just maybe, you should try and stay a bit more on model. It's just a suggestion and not a death threat at all.
I think I actually have an idea about what to draw for the next Radio Rothingham title card.
Okay.
A muscular Steven universe.
Didn't that already happen in the show at one point?
Yeah, Steven is actually the kind of character in the show that's very morphable. He's the only character you can get away with doing that with because...
Well, all the gems can actually transform. And it's usually the gems people go insane about.
Oh, I remember there was that one episode where he became an adult and he was actually, he wasn't exactly small.
No,
he was a fairly birdy dude.
He went through a lot of emotional turmoil and changed considerably in every other scene. It was kind of weird. That whole show is pretty weird.
But you see, he's a male protagonist that's very emotional and shit, and that's progressive.
Yes, males having emotions. It's the most important.
Yeah, we never seen that before in any medium ever. No guy has ever in any media has never shown any kind of emotion. Steven is the first one ever. No one's ever done before.
You have to remember, Artrix. In modern culture, the fact that men often will take great risk and sacrifice themselves at their own expense to help other people because they love them, that's not actually being emotional.
Oh.
That's men are completely stoic and in fact that's bad actually.
Being stoic is bad, yes.
No, being heroic and helping people is bad. Because patriarchy.
Right.
you're oppressing people. You see, by
I'm pretty sure someone argued that stoicism was also a bad thing that needs to go away.
oh, it is as well. Yeah. If you can't immediately read someone's emotions from the second you enter a room, it's bad. Because how else would you know? Also, if you show emotions when somebody enters a room and your emotion isn't joy, if it's say sadness, your eyes having to suffer from what you are seeing, that's bad too, because it could be construed as insulting and a microaggression. Because of the land whale that just entered the building and made the floor shake and is offending your eyelids, made you rather upset.
In that case, express yourself not through emotion, but through a harpoon into their throat. Whale.
But you see that's when you go to jail for up to 50 years or something.
Oh yeah, I forgot that
Yeah,
whales
I
are endangered.
Exactly. You need to be a Japanese person for the to work.
Oh yeah, then you can.
Like, you should be very happy you're not English right now, because you could be arrested for what you just did.
This is
Well, I actually don't hear half of the stuff you are just saying.
But
or German.
So what did he do to land himself a sentence in the UK's?
He said mean words.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
On the
it's-
internet.
And the British police is very concerned with finding people who say the naughty things.
And if you were in Germany, they would be already taking your PC away.
Yeah, yes. Unless you're this guy that works for AJ Plus, and you're like, look at all these mean tweets, while supporting a media company that's based in Qatar. That's totally fine.
Yes. Don't worry about that.
Yes. Yes. I think we should probably wrap this up. None of us have anything to say.
Yes, give me some rapid paper.
Actually, I was about to end the episode, and it's perfectly on time too. So thank you.
End it.
Yeah, so thank you for watching this episode of Radio Rothingham. Like,
Thank you for
subscribe,
overwatching.
all that shit. See you guys next week, probably.
I can't wait till I will be actually able to hear this episode.
See you the next recording.